What's up, guys? What's going on? Good to see us. So, have we found our bottom for Bitcoin? That's a big question, guys. That's a big question on everybody's mind as the alts bleed out, as Bitcoin takes a hit. Let's freaking go. Guys, as you know, I've been calling for this move for over 2 weeks now. We're finally here. Let's take it in. Let's take it in. Let's absorb it. Let's absorb it. Because in a few weeks, we're going to be higher and everyone's going to forget about this. So, that's my opinion. What's going on, guys? I'm sitting at 101,324 right now. It's going to be a long week, guys. A long week of a lot of bearishness, a lot of bearish posts, a lot of complaining, a lot of whining. It's going to be a long week. It's only Tuesday. We have a week to, we have like, what, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got 5 days before we get this weekly close. And we won't know which direction the market is likely heading in until after we get to the weekly close. So, yeah. Let me have a look at something here real quick. Un momento, por favor. How's everybody doing? Looking something up right now. All right. Liquidation levels. Yeah, a lot of longs got liquidated, Jay, but I'll definitely have a look at it for you. I'll definitely have a looky, Lou. Just waiting for a search that I put in to kind of come through here, guys. Big Kev says, I'm not worried about bears. Bears hibernate in the winter. The bulls will run right past them while they're sleeping. Let's go. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What else do we have? Ramona. She says, hey, Kev, Andy, Gamma, Spencer, and all you other weirdos. Don't forget to hit the like. Absolutely. The liquidation levels. Let me have a look at the liquidation levels. Let's have a look. All right, so yeah, look at all those longs got completely destroyed. There's not a lot of longs left. There's not even a $500 million. If we drop down to 98,900, only $596 million in longs we get liquidated. So it's not likely to see another long squeeze continue. However, if we move back up to 108,000, 3.44 billion will get liquidated. Let's move to the monthly though. Yeah, look at that. There's like no longs right now, guys. None. Right? None. Look at all these shorts. Look at all these shorts. Wow, if we made a move back up to 123, $18.38 billion in shorts would get liquidated. It's very, very lopsided right now for the shorts, guys. Very lopsided. Very possible we see a shorts liquidation, short squeeze take place. Eric, there's new FUD about Ethereum being stolen from Moonwell due to the faulty Chainlink price data. Is there a cause for concern or nothing burger? Right now, I think it's just white noise, to be honest with you. It's just white noise because of the broader crypto market. I think it's just going to pass by unrecognized for the most part. There's too much other stuff going on right now for that to matter, in my opinion. H. Barbarine in the house. What's going on, buddy? Azarine, where you been, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's bounce. Absolutely. Guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. We got 195 people here. We have 66 likes, guys. Come on, let's get those likes up. 66 is horrible for having 204 people here. William, what's up, buddy? How's everybody in here getting shaken out? We are all going to make it. Yes, we are. Jared, so close I can almost taste the glory. Absolutely super fantastic call on Bitcoin, brother. Hey, absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, I just calls them like I sees them. P-Money, Rob, I know you all said this was coming, but I must admit, I'm afraid right now. I mean, that's normal. That's normal. What matters is you're keeping your calm. Even though you're feeling that fear, you're still keeping calm and not making bad decisions. That's what's important, right? Surf Armory, what's up, man? Happy Tuesday, Rob and Patreon family. These dips are exciting when there's dry powder ready to deploy. Could you look at Solana's charts? What's our expected bottom to start buying? We won't know bottoms on altcoins, guys, until we get a bottom on Bitcoin, to be honest with you. Till we know for sure where Bitcoin is bottoming, we're not going to know, because if Bitcoin keeps going, well, guess what? Alts are going to keep going, right? But Right now, actually, Solana is in a bottoming range. It's in a pretty significant level of support. You could fall down to about $147 would be the next leg down. And then maybe $139 after that. That would be my next two stops if it goes down further. Negan, the cycle is in control, and everything else is noise and narrative. Yes, exactly. Everything else is just noise. I agree. Quentin, praying for us all. There you go, ya boy. If you're scared, go to church. TW, 100K. Wow, this is crazy. And oh, wow, 10 minutes of elevator music. For what exactly is that wait for? TW, the wait is because YouTube does not send out the notification right away when we're live. We had a problem where we would be live for 45 minutes and then people would start pouring in because they just got the notification. So we leave that 15-minute buffer in there for people to get the notification or to realize that we're live. So, because it was horrible. People were coming in half an hour, 45 minutes late, and then asking us to recap everything we already talked about, right? So, yeah, it's because YouTube doesn't send the notification out properly. Mario, it's me, Mario. Senor Rob, I want to thank you for the advice and guidance. Hey, absolutely. Everybody who listened to me over the last 2 weeks that we were going down where we are right now has dry powder and is deploying that dry powder right now, just like I said. Despite everyone calling me names, telling me I didn't know what I was talking about, saying I was wrong and that we weren't going down, here we are exactly where I said we were going. Another local, thank you, Rob, for your DCA masterclass. I loaded more Zebek and Swift at the lowest. Nice. There you go, man. There you go. Andy, what's up, buddy? Any dudes needing a hug, Spencer is free. There she is, the one and only Gamma Goddess. Let's continue to hold the line and get this money. Absolutely. Is that a new one-on-one ending? Yeah. Yep. Keep moving forward. Hey, Rob, do you think Myria gets to the 40-plus numbers next November like the last gaming cycle? Yeah, I could see that, yes. Web3 gaming did absolutely nothing last cycle until it did everything. It just went nuts. I think it ended up being the second highest performing ROI narrative in crypto. And everyone thought it wasn't going to do anything because it just did nothing for so long. So projects like Gala and Sandbox and Mana and Axie Infinity went nuts out of nowhere, right? Is that a pistol in your pocket, Spencer? Nice. Strawberry Dragon says, bull runs towards the storm. Let's go. Over the top, supporting us over on Rumble. Thank you so much, brother. Yes, guys, if you're watching on Rumble, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We got to get that growing. Danny's in the house. What's going on, man? Jared shaking in my little bear boots. Bruno, what's going on, buddy? Kizza says, hey, Rob, we either going to look like absolute G's holding on to our coins or complete dumbasses. Hey, we're going to ride this till the wheels fall off, brother. Bitcoin already touched 99.95K. There you go. We're back up to 101. Kids, hopefully it's the... Yes, I agree. I agree, brother. Oh, house. Rob, I have all my faith that we're going to climb out of this. I honestly don't have any other choice. I used my voodoo today, and I got my last 1K. I still haven't decided what to buy. Well, pretty much everything. You can't go wrong. Really. Matt Adams in the house. Kev, man, what's good, brother? Can you give me some Moonwell advice? There was a security incident. I need to read up on it a little more first, brother. Ricky, I got to read up a little bit on it. I don't know anything about it right now, so let me look into it. Easy, GG, get going. Let's do it. Another local. You nailed it, Rob. Epic range call. Seems like Bitcoin heard you. Yeah. Huh. Crazy future millionaires. Strawberry Dragon in the house. Easy says, I won't tell you I'm in crypto, but there will be signs in my hand on the corner begging for DCA money. Yes. Bring on the guff. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Hybrid Dad says, I'm not getting fooled out of my bags. I'm going to hold until the wheels fall off, and then I'll pull with the strength of Jesus. Absolutely. God bless, my friend. Doge TA. Altcoin requests come in the form of a super chat. Another local says, hello, Gamma Goddess. Bears have no idea what's coming. They think they're in control. Absolutely. DL, can I get your thoughts on Alchemy Pay? Alchemy Pay is a good project. I like it. I think it needs a little bit more listings, I believe. But yeah, I think it'll do okay. It's just a little bit old for my liking. It was around in the last cycle. There's other projects I like more, but I do like Alchemy Pay. What do we got? Big Mike, what's up, brother? Back at it, supporting the channel. Thank you so much, my dude. Says, I'm here with you, Big Rob, even through red, brother. Keep leading us. Absolutely, man. Listen, guys, I'm not going anywhere, man. I'm going to be here with you guys the whole way, no matter what. We're going to ride it till the wheels fall off, or we're going to ride it to infinity and beyond. Hey, it says, happy to be in your Patreon group, brother. Thanks for all your support. Hey, absolutely, man. We're also unemotional. We're all gonna take some coins to our Ty, what's up, buddy? Had a dream I was rich AF last night. If it doesn't make you bullish, I don't know what will. Yes, it wasn't a dream, it was a premonition. Let's see if Rob really knows crypto. I'm still buying Swift coin. I'm all in, balls to the wall, baby. Ray, what's up, buddy? If you're not buying the best things you can do, the best thing you can do is not look at your portfolio until after the weekly close at least. Blessing. Yes, you're absolutely right, man. I backed up the truck, loaded up on Moonwell. Nice. There you go. Kaiser, Big Rob, what's going on, bro? I know the Jays lost, but you got to do us like this, bro. Nice. The call is 140 to 142K. Actually, Al, if you haven't been here for the last 2 weeks, you see, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, guys, right? I've been saying for 2 weeks that we're coming down to this level we're at right now. I've been saying it for 2 weeks, 4 times a day, 2 live streams, 3 videos, actually 5 times a day, every day for 2 weeks. This guy hops in and says I was calling for 140. I'm calling for 140 to 142K, and that I'm wrong. This is what I'm talking about. People don't pay attention to what you're saying, and then they say stuff like this. So he probably heard me say that last month, came in now, like 3 or 4 weeks later, and says this. This is what I'm talking about, right? You call it for 2 weeks, you nail it, somebody comes in and says you were wrong. Okay. I am Jasmine. We're all Jasmine. You can have hope in one hand and in the other. Yeah. Tell me which one fills up first. Yes, exactly. The only thing you shouldn't be afraid of now is that you will make too much money and that you won't know what to do with it. Exactly, William. Dana, what's up? I am on a buying spree. Nice. There you go. I did a little DCing this morning too. These levels are what? Banana time. There we go. Myrdid's in the house. Ditto. What's happening, man? If Bitcoin keeps going, guess what? The fact is that alts are not guaranteed to keep going. Thank you, sir. No problem. Thanks for keeping us in the game, Rob. Hopefully this only makes for a bigger run coming up. There you go, man. Rob, could U.S. income tax refunds hitting late March fuel? Yeah, that could be. We sometimes we see some tax harvesting as well, though, right? So keep that in mind. AF says made some dry powder with honey, and yeah, honey had a nice pump, eh? Honey had a nice pump. Reaper says next 3 to 5 days we will move up, and away. Bitcoin and alts. There you go. Yep, I agree. We'll have a bounce. We could hang out below here for the week and then bounce above it, right? Big C says I picked up some Bitcoin today, 103, and some alts. Nice. There you go. Zbeck, amazing one to have right now. Yeah, Zbeck's a great buy. Not financial advice, but it's a great pickup right now. I picked up a $10 of Bitcoin. It ain't much, but hey, it's a drop in the bucket, my friend. It's a drop in the bucket. They all add up, man. What's the name of the Rumble channel? Crypto Future. Crypto Future. Animoca Brands going public on the NASDAQ. Nice. Made 45% gain on one of my favorite projects, Digibyte. Yeah, Digibyte's decent. I like Digibyte. Profits going to nice. There you go, man. I love it. That's a plan right there. Any comment on XCN low? I made a short on XCN this morning saying where the next support level is. So yeah. That would be around, hang on. The next support would be around 2041. Patience is our weapon. Thank you, Rob. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Elizabeth, what's going on? Good to see you, dear. Good to see you. Rob, you said yesterday BTC low will be 102, 103. Actually, I've been saying that I've been saying we're coming down to this range for the last 2 weeks. And I also said that we could go as low as $98,000 on the daily, but that we need to wick back up and close above 102 on the weekly. Preach, Rob, smash the likes. Yes, physically fit, even $1 in profit would be nice. Been DCAing, absolutely love it. Much love from Pennsylvania. There we go. Smash the likes. Ari's in the house. What's going on? Okay, Al, well then I apologize. I must have misunderstood what you were saying, my friend. My apologies. My apologies. Dave, are we still looking for a top before Christmas? I mean, it would be nice. Still possible. Rob, are you making a short for Swift? I could make a short for Swift. Check out these support levels. Unfortunately, Rob could not see a massive liquidation event a few weeks back. No one could have. Yeah, it's too bad. I wish I could see the future. I wish I could. It's so hard to believe that the bears are saying because what the bears are saying, because even at 126K BTC, we didn't feel any euphoria. You're absolutely right, Dave. There was no euphoria. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. We have not seen euphoria in the markets yet. We haven't seen retail come in. We haven't seen any of that stuff. Yeah, I agree. I could see 98K Bitcoin for a day or two just to scare people, right? But closing the weekly candle back above the 50 on the weekly. I just DCA'd 150K more cash, but nice. Big things are happening behind the scenes. Nice. Great price right now. Yes, I have a big fat bag of Caspa. I agree. I love Caspa. Okay, so we're caught up in the chat. Let's get into the news, guys. We're already 34 minutes in. We haven't touched the news. Let's see what's going on in crypto. Let's talk about crypto. Crypto. Sam Bankman-Fried appeals the FTX fraud conviction, cites excluded evidence. Didn't he plead guilty? Like, what? How can you plead mistrial when you pled guilty? I don't get it. Sam Bankman-Fried, the jailed founder of the collapsed crypto exchange FTX, is back before the U.S. Court of Appeals in New York as his lawyers seek to overturn his 2023 fraud conviction. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit heard arguments Tuesday in a case that could determine whether Bankman-Fried gets a retrial after being found guilty on all 7 counts of defrauding FTX customers, lending, and investors. Bankman-Fried, once a prominent figure in the crypto industry, was convicted in November of 2023 following a month-long trial that revealed how the client deposits were derived to plug losses at his trading firm. So he took your money that you invested in crypto and you held on his exchange, and he gave it away. He paid his bills with it, right? And now he's trying to get out of prison on a technicality, right? I don't care if they missed evidence or something like that. He's guilty. He needs to stay where he is. He cost possibly millions of people, billions of dollars. And he used that money for himself. Screw that guy. That's what I say. So Sam Bankman-Fried trying to get out of prison. No, methinks not, bro. Methinks not. Beanbag himself shouldn't be free. No, he absolutely should not be free. I agree. Bitcoin's price plunges towards 100K as analysts call for the start of a bear market. Bitcoin cannot catch a break on Tuesday as its adverse price movements continue to dig new lows, with the latest being just under $101,000. With the asset now on the brink of its first price dump below 100,000 since June, whales and treasury companies have begun to offload, while some analysts believe this is the official start of the bear market. Sequans Communications, one of the numerous Bitcoin treasury firms, announced today that it had redeemed 50% of convertible debt issued to purchase Bitcoin by selling off 970 units of the cryptocurrency. Thus, it reduced its total outstanding debt from 189 million to 94.5 million. Its Bitcoin stash has dropped to 2,264 from 3,234. In another bearish development, which intensified the immediate selling pressure on an asset, whales had offloaded $272 million worth of the asset, as reported by popular analyst Ali Martinez. These moves have only added to the overall negative landscape in the crypto industry for the past week. Recall that Bitcoin challenged the 116K resistance last Tuesday, only to be rejected harder than a high school kid at a prom and driven south hard into the dirt. It's like you went to the prom as a teenage boy, you asked a pretty girl to dance, she said no, and you pooped your pants in front of the whole class. These moves have only added to the overall negative landscape in the cryptocurrency, in the crypto industry for the past week. Recall that Bitcoin I already read that part. The beginning of the current business week has been particularly painful. Bitcoin has stopped at $111,000 on Sunday and dumped by 10K since then, just under 101 hours ago, which we are at right now. Moreover, the cryptocurrency is retraced by roughly 20% since its all-time high, marked less than a month ago. As such, the Kobayashi letter categorized it as the beginning of a bear market. The altcoins have been in even worse state over the past day. Tau leads the adverse trend with a massive 18% decline, followed by IP, APT, Kaspa, OKB, TON, and Solana, and many others. The larger caps have suffered badly as well. Ethereum dumped 7%, XRP dumped by 6%, BNB by 8%, and Solana by 8.5%. Yes, we're aware that altcoins are bleeding. Thanks for the heads up on that. We wouldn't have known had you not written that article, right? All right, we got Scott Bessent on Squawk Box, guys.
Treasury Secretary is joining us now. Scott Bessent. We worked on that segue, Mr. Treasury Secretary. I hope you liked it. How are you? Good to see you.
Good morning, Joe. Good to see you.
Let's talk tariffs, and since it's front and center for everyone with this beginning now at SCOTUS, you have said you're going and you want to be in the front row. I think your chances are good if you say that's where you'd like to sit.
Look, Joe, I think it's a matter of national security, and this is one of the president's signature policies, and it'd be very unusual for the Supreme Court to overrule president's signature policy. Supreme Court gave President Obama a lot of room on Obamacare, and President Trump's two signature policies have been securing the border, which has been a incredible success, and it has been the tariff policy rebalancing U.S. trade, and it's economic security. And we've had three emergencies here. First emergency has been the fentanyl crisis, and the president was able to use IEPA to bring the Chinese to the table on the precursor chemicals. Second emergency was, I think we were at a tipping point in terms of our trade deficits. We are bringing those down. The deficit with China is down 25%. We could have had a looming financial crisis. And then number three, the president, after the Chinese said that they were going to put export controls on rare earth minerals for the globe, on October 8th, the president was able to use his IEPA emergency powers to threaten 100% tariffs, bring the Chinese to the table in Kuala Lumpur and Korea, and get the rare earths to flow. And if that hadn't happened, that manufacturing facilities, not only in the U.S., but around the world, would shut down. So, this is an emergency power that he has used during emergencies.
There might be compelling arguments on the other side, Mr. Secretary, and I like the Journal kind of made me laugh today because in their lead op-ed they said, few conservatives are more deferential, not to President Trump, but to presidential overseas authority than we are. They've stood in the way of a lot of things, I think, that the president has tried to do, obviously, although, out of all the op-ed pages, the friendliest probably has been the Wall Street Journal. But they point out that Article 1 vests Congress with authority, and that was the intent because of what happened with taxation without representation, that it vests Congress with the authority to negotiate trade deals and to impose tariffs. And it was like that until Smoot-Hawley in 1930, when they thought the president needed to be able to have that authority. But up until then, it had always been the purview of Congress to regulate tariff policy.
Yeah, Joe, but there are lots of other authorities, too. The president has 232s, 301s. Those are all from the executive branch. And again, IEPA is an emergency authority, and we were in an emergency situation, and this is crucial for the U.S. economy.
Do you think, Mr. Secretary, that the Supreme Court is so up to date on these stories? Here's where I'm going with this. A lot of people would probably say the trade imbalance has been there for a long time, and that all of a sudden it's an emergency. They would question that. I don't know what they'd say about fentanyl, but when you talk about rare earth metals and what that could do to the U.S. economy, that, I think, even SCOTUS, even Supreme Court might say, you know what, in this case, the emergency power is absolutely, you could actually use that in that case and be totally justified. Do you think that they could look at it that way?
Well, Joe, let's think about, and as you know, in economics, there's a concept of a tipping point, and I think that there's a point where you get to an emergency. What if someone had held up their hand, like many people did before the great financial crisis, and said we're heading for a calamity in the housing market? And if someone had exercised emergency powers then, we would not have had to go through 2008, 2009, and the aftermath and what it did to the American people.
I'll just ask you one more thing, one more point the Journal makes. If the court blesses this unlimited presidential tariff power, future presidents, i.e. Democrats, were going to do the same thing. An all too likely example would be a climate emergency. I could see this happening. They call it that all the time. A climate emergency to tax imports of countries with high CO2 emissions. You can fill in the blanks for something that Democrats might do if this were upheld by the Supreme Court. Does that concern you at all about what the other party would do with this type of power?
Look, if the president does need emergency power, and I would question whether there's a climate emergency. I've been hearing for years that there's an emergency. The planet's going to be on fire in 5 years, 10 years, and the only thing that's happened with that is an excuse for my children not to do their homework because there's not going to be a planet. So, it's all been proven wrong.
Or not to have kids. I know. It's crazy. Beck?
Mr. Secretary, thanks for being with us today. We're now in day 35 of this government shutdown, tied for the longest government shutdown ever. The Hill has just been reporting in the last couple of hours that some centrist Democrats are signaling to their Republican counterparts that they might be willing to cut a deal, that we could see an end to this coming soon. I think Susan Collins had kind of suggested maybe we see an end to this by the end of this week. But they're also saying, some of these centrist Democrats, that a red flag is that the president may not be serious about health care reform. Can you tell us what the administration's plan is on this front, what you're hearing about any of these talks, what you know?
So, Becky, I've called for 5 brave Democrats to come across the aisle. And, what's changed since we got the clean continuing resolution in the spring? 2 things. One, Senator Schumer's poll numbers, he's sinking like a stone. So we're being held hostage to his poll numbers. And then 2, the Democrats have tried to stop President Trump in the courts. It goes to SCOTUS, they get overruled. They've tried to stop President Trump in the mainstream media. That hasn't worked. So now they've shut down the government and they're harming the economy. So I think it would be great if 5 moderate Democrats became heroes, reopened the government, and for the entire shutdown, whether it's President Trump, Speaker Johnson, or Leader Thune, they've said reopen the government and we can have the conversation on health care, but we can't do it while the government's closed down. What should that conversation look like, Mr. Secretary? Because it's also been pointed out, the subsidies were pandemic-era subsidies, and you need those to keep some premiums from doubling for people. But the real thing is it's the Unaffordable Care Act. The premiums are going up because the cost is going up, and there's no way to provide Affordable Care Act services without numbers like that. Is there a plan? Because the president has talked about a plan for a long time, and here we are. Yeah, Joe, I'm not going to get into negotiations until the Democrats reopen the government. So, I'm not going to preview it, that reopen the government and then the talks can start. And, the crazy thing is they kept talking about a November 21st deadline, and we're getting there, and they haven't reopened the government. So, we're starting to see this affect the economy. We're starting to see the airport delays and shutdowns. And I can tell you, the American people are going to blame the Democrats if the busiest travel day of the year, the day after Thanksgiving, is a disaster. People aren't able to be with their families. They should be ashamed. There's an election today in various places, Mr. Secretary. As the highest economic official in our country, and we're sitting in the capitalist center of the universe, right here in New York City, and we might elect either a socialist, if you talk to one person, or if you talk to the president himself, a communist. What is your take on what's happening in New York City, how it could affect the country writ large? Well, Joe, that New York is losing its status as the capital of capital. The United States is maintaining it. They're opening Wall Street down in Texas, and Wall Street jobs have been fleeing New York. What we saw during the pandemic was the greatest transfer of wealth in history from Manhattan County to Palm Beach County. And I can tell you that if you get Caracas on the Hudson, which it looks like the polls are saying you're going to get, you're going to see more people, more capital fleeing. So it's good for Connecticut real estate, good for Florida real estate. And nothing says that New York has to remain the financial capital. Secretary, we always get to some of the interesting water cooler type stuff. And I guess Tesla and shareholders are going to decide on a pay package. The latest I've seen, and I loved your answer that you gave, was there was some kind of kerfuffle you had, not with Bill Pulte in this case, which we've asked you about in the past. This one involved Elon Musk, that you grabbed him by the collar or something, and your only response was, that can't be true because he didn't have a collar.
I think he has a scruff of his neck. Was there any grabbing of anything in that general area, Mr. Secretary?
Yeah, no, Joe. Look, this is old news, and Jesse Waters has a great sense of humor, and Elon and I were very passionate about what needed to be done with government. He did a fantastic job in setting a trajectory for downsizing government, which we've continued. Spending is down over the past 2 quarters. We're going to keep it down. And what's gone unnoticed during the government shutdown is we actually had a smaller deficit for fiscal year 25 than we did for 24. It was small, but nonetheless, the deficit was smaller. And because the GDP went up, deficit to GDP went from 6.4% to 5.9%, and I think we can continue bringing that down.
You okay with that compensation package? And then I know Andrew has a question.
Well, I think it's great that Elon's back in the private sector. He's one of the great entrepreneurs of the generation. That's up for the shareholders to decide. But the amount of value that he's created for his investors and for his shareholders is phenomenal, and it's across a range of industries.
Mr. Secretary, I wanted to actually go back to the issue of New York and the prospect that Zohran Mamdani could be the next mayor. The president made a comment during the 60 Minutes interview on Sunday that potentially the administration would, or Washington writ large, would send less money to New York as a result of that, in part because he said, you don't want a communist effectively in charge that would then misspend such money. How much discretion does the administration have in terms of its ability to turn on the spigot or turn off the spigot to a particular state, and in what areas?
Well, I think it's on a lot of the large infrastructure, spending. And Andrew, I think we can see that we have some discretion here in D.C., but the real discretion is people voting with their feet. You see these Democratic states. New York has, for years, had net outbound migration. Illinois, net outbound migration. California, net outbound migration. So it seems like more money should go to the states that people are moving to.
Mr. Secretary, if the Supreme Court were to go against the president on this, are you confident that another route can be found to continue with the policy and not get into the morass of trying to be? I don't even know how it would work if you had to, start reversing some of the what we've seen with the tariffs.
Yeah, Joe, there are lots of other authorities that can be used, but IEPA is by far the cleanest, and it gives the U.S. and the president the most negotiating authority. And again, when we get something like October 8th, where the entire manufacturing ecosystem in the U.S. and the world was at threat of shutdown, then it's very important to be able to have these. The others are more cumbersome, but they can be effective, less. It hinders the president's negotiating ability to be able to protect the American people and the American economy. So, this is very important tomorrow, and SCOTUS is going to hear this. And again, this is a signature policy for the president, and traditionally SCOTUS has been loath to interfere with these signature policies.
I guess I'll just ask you one quick question on China. A lot of talk about what actually went on with NVIDIA chips and the Blackwell chips. Are you among the people in the administration that think that China should never get those highly advanced AI chips, or is this saving something to negotiate the future with? Because it always seems like these are stops along the way with these negotiations with China. They're evolving, and we continue to to deal with things, and they continue to deal with things.
Well, if we think about the Blackwell now, that they're the crown jewel that 12, 18 months ago, the H-20s were so good, were the crown jewels. So, Joe, I think what you're describing is actually the pace that the technology is moving, not the pace that the negotiations are moving. So there may be a case down the road. I don't know whether it's 12 or 24 months, given the incredible innovation that goes on at NVIDIA, where the Blackwell chips may be 2, 3, 4 down their chip stack in terms of efficacy. And at that point, they could be sold on.
And it's your take, your contention that China had a plan with these rare earth materials, that this was in the works. And whether President Trump had poked the bear in the first place to try to reset global trade with China, either way, that would have been something that China was planning to use. So it's not like, the president, critics say, starts fire and then puts a fire out and takes credit for putting it out.
Absolutely not. This is something that they've been putting together for 35 years. The Rare Earth Magnets Company actually used to belong to General Motors. A Chinese company bought it. CFIUS, which is the Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S., said they had to keep it in the U.S. for 5 years and a day. In 2000, they moved it over to China. They've been accumulating these rare earth assets for years. And Joe, it's important to know that they put this restriction on the entire world. So, don't accuse President Trump of doing this. But what I can tell you is after the meeting in Korea, it was a very good meeting. Both sides approached it with great respect. I think President Trump is the only leader who President Xi respects. We had a very good meeting. The relationship is in a good place. I think we're going to have 2 state visits next year. President Trump will be going to Beijing, and Xi will be coming to the U.S., and they may also see each other at the G20 in Doral, and then the APEC conference in Shenzhen in November. So I think the overall U.S.-China relationship is on a much more even keel now.
Secretary Bessent, thank you so much, as always. We appreciate it.
Good to see you, Joe.
So we do have some good things in the news happening, like the China-U.S. trade negotiations is going well right now. However, this government shutdown is really putting a damper on things at this point, I think. Let's get back into the chat. Candyman says, yesterday while I cooked dinner, my son said, one day I'll help you with the bills, groceries, and expenses. My eyes teared up. You'll be 32 next month. Nice. Cowan said we may get 150K Bitcoin and still no altcoin season. What do you think? Well, I mean, he's half right. Bitcoin does have to go. People, I don't know why people don't understand that or don't catch that. There's not going to be a true altcoin season until after Bitcoin tops, right? I don't know why some people expect an altcoin season before Bitcoin tops. I don't know where that narrative came from, but I would say that I agree with him to an extent that, yes, Bitcoin will hit $150,000 before we see an altcoin season. I agree with that, yes. But I don't agree if he's implying that there's not going to be an altcoin season at all. And that's just a Bitcoin maxi being intellectually dishonest, right? So if there's a shutdown in the UK, there would be chaos. Everyone would go on strike. Snap funds will not be released. Comment over on Rumble. Finally hit Zebeck's goal today and a lot of Moonwell and World. Nice. There you go. Did he just take a ship? I know, right? Oh, man. My only regret is running out of dry powder now. Hey, you're probably going to have time to make more dry powder and put it in, man. You're going to have time. No gain. I do not think that it's over. I do not think it is a bear market. My also destroyed. Yeah, everyone's also destroyed right now. Do you believe the New York City mayor-elect will have an impact on the markets? Yes and no. I think that in an indirect way it will, because there's a lot of speculation about that the Democrats are waiting for that election to finish before they stop the government shutdown. So in an indirect way, yes, because I think the end to the government shutdown would be, would be positive for the markets. So getting wrecked, everything's getting wrecked. Pure manipulation. You got it, man. We'll eventually, yes, he will. He's a Bitcoin maxi, right? Bitcoin maxis are intellectually dishonest. You have to remember that, right? Cowan says the most basic things if you think about it. Yeah. Alt season has come and gone. Look at coin market cap 6 months ago. Okay, if you say so. Tell me you've never been through an altcoin season without telling me you've never been through a true altcoin season. I thought I was getting good price on XCN. Drop, yeah. Hey, it's wild is right, man. Absolutely. My average is 1 cent 0.25. Benjamin, what's up, buddy? Happy Tuesday. God bless. Locked, stocked, and loaded for the pump. Jack stacked and fanny pack. Let's go. All right, guys, I got some coaching calls I got to get to over on the Patreon. Get over there. The link is down below. It's in the chat. It's in the pinned comments. You can book one-on-one coaching calls with me personally, or you can join our group coaching calls. We also have a live stream over on the Patreon tonight. I will be dropping a trade video for our trading group over there as well. All of our training courses are free to Patreon members. Check it out today, guys. Again, the link is in the chat. It's in the pinned comments. It's in the description. You can even use the QR code in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I will see you guys in the next one. God bless.